Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my brand new Let's Play of Third Odyssey, Back to the Motherland. Now, before we get started, I figure I should give you a little bit of an explanation, and for one thing, explain exactly what Third Odyssey Back to the Motherland is, because it's not exactly very well known. At least it wasn't the last time I used it. Now, for this, I'm just going to go over to the map, and we can talk about things here. Now, Third Odyssey Back to the Motherland is a alternate history total conversion mod for Europa Universalis 4, which EU4, despite the fact that it has some slow points to it, it happens to be one of my favorite strategy games of all time, and of all the Paradox Interactive games, it is number 2 in terms of the number of hours that I have put into any of these games. Number 1 is, of course, Stellaris, because I have a little bit of a science fiction addiction, as anyone who has watched any of my live streams knows. But the backstory behind Third Odyssey Back to the Motherland is that in 1444, when the game starts on the 11th of November, the Basilius, or Emperor, of what remained the Byzantine Empire at that time, which, as you can see off of this map, is basically just Constantinople and most of Greece. He recognized that their empire was a dying state, so they effectively abandoned all their continental holdings and took as many citizens as they could on board ships and sailed them over to the New World, wherein they established a colony in the Americas. And things just sort of unfold from there. It's a very interesting mod, but it's the sort of thing that's best experienced rather than me just telling you about it. But it has a very narrative flavor feel to it, and that's one of my favorite things about EU4 too, and all other Paradox games really, that as things are, they make for very good platforms for emergent storytelling, which Third Odyssey does great at. And as you might have guessed from the day that you're seeing this on, Third Odyssey is going to be my new Sunday series. This is going to run every Sunday from now on, and I haven't actually decided what my end goals are or when it's going to stop. I might just decide that I want to conquer the Americas and screw the old world. Or we might actually do some sort of attempt to retake our homelands in the super late game. However, one thing that should be mentioned, well, two really, is the fact that it's been a very long time since I've played a full campaign of EU4. I've sort of dipped my toes in here or there, but the last time that I actually did a full campaign and got to what I would consider a conclusion, proper conclusion, as in I'd accomplished everything I wanted to, that would have been about 2 or 3 updates ago, so it's been a while. And it's been even longer since I've actually played Back to the Motherland. It's an excellent mod, but there are so many great mods for EU4 that I just never end up playing any one of them exclusively, which is what happened with Back to the Motherland. The last time I played it, actually, if you go and look on my Twitch channel, you can find the VOD there. I had an aborted attempt at a live stream of the mod several years ago, and that was the last time. But hopefully this one will go better. I'm hoping we can at least end this on a position of strength. Let's just call it. Beyond that, I have no real expectations for how this is going to go. But because of where we're going to be starting out, technically, there's going to be a heavy colonization emphasis. So if that's not something you're interested in, then this series may not be for you. But now it's time we dive in, and we will start with the only thing that makes sense in this circumstance: reading the fluff text. Experience an alternate history where the Emperor of Byzantium ponders the state of the realm. Gradually, his appreciation for the works written about the fall of Troy and the adventures of its heroes increase, and it inspires him to continue a bold move. Odysseus in Homer's Odyssey faced hardships on his way back home. Aeneas in Virgil's Aeneid was forced to flee the city and was led by Jupiter and Venus to found the city Lavinium after a great odyssey of his own. The city would later be known as the city from which Romulus and Remus's mother originated. Now it is time for the Byzantines to embark on the Third Odyssey. Will you lead the faltering Greeks to a new world? Play. And I'm not going to be running this on Iron Man. For one thing, there's no point considering this is with a mod, and for another, just by the nature of how Iron Man works, I find that it's not a very good fit for Let's Plays. Because it's very possible that I could have something or other happen that would force me to re-record an episode, or my footage might become corrupt or something. Anything could happen, and if it's on Iron Man, I don't have that option. So, this is just my preferred method for that reason. And you can look at these yourself if you like, but the environment and religion aren't going to matter for long. For reasons that will become apparent shortly, though environment is probably an obvious one, because our environment is going to change. But yes, we are the last remnant of the Eastern Roman Empire and heir to over 2,000 years of Roman history and culture. And surrounded by the Ottoman Turkish menace and all but abandoned by the Western powers. It take a true miracle to save the last vestiges of Rome. And we are a monarchy. Also, chances are there's a lot of mechanics in the game that I'm not going to be very familiar with because, as I said, it's been a very long time since I have played either Third Odyssey or EU4. Welcome to Third Odyssey. The Emperor of Rome looks upon his realm and despairs. To the east lies the lands of the hostile Turks, successors to the Arabs that battered Anatolia in times long past. To the west lie the Serbs and Hungarians, eager to carve up the pieces of a dying empire and expand their own dominion. The Varna Crusaders have been butchered. The legions of Rome once conquered the known world, but that was long ago. A lesser man might quail at these truths, but Iones and his brother Constantinius are not lesser men. While delving into the depths of the Imperial Library for anything that might deliver them from destruction, the brothers located a hidden cache of information left behind by the exalted former emperor Alexios Komnenos. The cache contained detailed schematics of dromons, retrofitted with the deep-sea capabilities of the ancient Roman vessels that plied the treacherous seas between the coasts of Hispania and the lands of the Celts in ages past. and was intended for a trading expedition to Varangian Vinland that never materialized. With them, the two brothers were able to scheme up a plan to hastily retrofit the remains of the Imperial Navy to the designs, reinforced with modern construction techniques, and flee west in a new Odyssey, just as Aeneas fled Troy 3,000 years ago. The other three brothers will have to stay behind, and this will give our leader Roman flight, which is going to result in +6 national unrest, minus 50% morale of armies, minus 100% fort maintenance, minus 50% fort defense, plus 300% hostile core creation cost on us, minus 3 diplomatic relations slots, and we lose 5 in each category of monarch power on our leader, and Athens is no longer our vassal. Nice. So enjoy your independence, Athens. Books and fire. The Emperor has been approached by his close confidant, Georgios Frances, who argues that we should take with us that this made us respected in ages past. I suspect the person who made this mod was not an English speaker first and foremost, because that sentence is complete and utter butchery of the English language. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and do a little bit of creative translation. Give me a second. The Emperor has been approached by his close confidant, Georgios Frances, who argues that we should take with us that which has made us respected in ages past, our learning, the most important books and scrolls, including the manuscripts detailing the construction process for truly ocean-worthy vessels, should be collected into a library and given a place in the fleet. In addition, a skilled German engineer named Johannes Grant was able to recreate Greek fire on a limited scale based on scrolls stored in a hidden cache in the Imperial Library, and is requesting that space on the fleet be allotted to storing the substance and the ingredients used to make it. Such endeavors would be expensive and cost precious space. They might be worth it. We will see. Some new guy joins our court who's going to be really cheap. 2 new guys, in fact, who'll be really cheap to hire, and we are definitely taking Greek fire with us. As that is one of the things that'll happen very shortly. We get some options to decide what sort of things we want to take along, because we have a limit on what we can take with us, depending on if we want to take gold, knowledge, Greek fire, and such. The more of that sort of thing that we take, the less manpower that we can bring along, because those sort of things take up space we could otherwise use for housing people, is the argument, I do believe. But I think that will do it for this intro, and we will pick up next week with the proper start of this series, when we will be casting off for the new world. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me next time for this continuation of this new series. I'll see you then, everybody. Take care.